Okay, so today's session, we're going to be looking at the key features of cloud accounting that we believe that every business should be using. The core apps that are there to really assist businesses get the most out of the cloud accounting software, and also how best to use the real-time data to your advantage. And I'll also pick up on some FAQs at the end. Now, it's not my intention per se to go into each cloud accounting software. I think we have users from different, who use different cloud accounting softwares on the session today. Like I said, we'll just be looking at the overriding features that are consistent in all packages, just be able to highlight those that we believe people should be using to get the most out of their software. If anyone does want to dive into any specifics in relation to software, then my contact details are at the end, so please do get in touch with me. So firstly, just to tell you a little bit about myself, I've been with the firm for I'm in my 23rd year, and throughout that time I have done my training and qualified as a chartered certified accountant. For quite a long time, since 2008, I was one of the portfolio managers here at Jackson Stephen. So I looked after a range of businesses, different business types, different business sizes and industries, probably mainly limited companies, and like I say, from various different sectors, so professional practices, engineering companies, property management businesses, etc. And my team were responsible for delivering their annual accounting compliance, the personal and tax compliance, bookkeeping and VAT, and also management accounting and advisory. And since 2018, I have moved over into our digital services team. So predominantly now I oversee our dedicated digital services team who help clients by implementing cloud technology, help them manage that change within their business, deliver training, and also help internally as well. So by us trying to adopt technology internally and delivering the training internally too. I think this stems from certainly the digital revolution. We are seeing a lot more. There is a strong reliance now on cloud accounting technology. It is something that I'm genuinely interested in, but I'm actually more so interested in helping businesses because ultimately I just want to make everyone's lives easier. So it sounds a bit cliche, I appreciate, but I just have a genuine interest in it. Okay, so throughout my time then, as digital services manager, we have helped many clients actually move on to cloud accounting software. And what we have seen is these clients have ultimately saved time, which they have been able to invest in other areas of their business, or sometimes, reinvest that, spending that with family, especially for smaller businesses who may have been writing up records, say, in their own time. We've seen businesses save money, especially when compared to the higher software costs, certainly of desktop products. Businesses are benefiting from having access to their accounts from anywhere and at any time, which has been quite important right now, especially with the current situation. And the issues that have been unfolding during the last year. I think that's really sort of coming to its own. And then also these businesses have access to new features because that software is continuously developing and there's no need to actually install updates. So we no longer have these situations where we have to pay for updates to our system or we have to install new updated modules, etc. So it's because this software is constantly evolving that we have a need to be constantly reviewing the way we're actually using our cloud accounting software. Plus, some businesses who have adopted cloud accounting have chosen to do that in a two or three step phase by first of all initially adopting cloud accounting, moving on to that platform, and then secondly by maybe releasing some of the features that are available to them. But wherever you're up to, within this journey, these are the key features that we recommend that any business is using as a bare minimum. Okay, so first of all, I think there's no surprise here, in that we recommend that bank feeds, first of all, should be activated as far as possible. Now, bank feeds are available in all the key software providers, so they're available within Sage Business Cloud, QuickBooks Online, and Xero, and for anyone who's using another package such as Free Agent or Cashflow, they're available within there too. Now, when using bank feeds, transactions are automatically downloaded into the accounting software on a daily basis, which allows you to reconcile the bank on an ongoing basis. So if you keep your bank up to date on an ongoing basis, then you can actually make use of the cash predictions module and other features that I'm going to come on to shortly. So sticking with the bank, we also recommend that businesses set up bank rules. Now, bank rules apply for any non-ledger items. So when I say non-ledger items, I mean payments such as wages, loan repayments, bank charges, maybe mortgage payments, items that don't necessarily have a purchase invoice attached to them. Or similarly, it could be money coming in, such as interest received, that doesn't have a sales invoice attached to it. Now, when you set bank rules up, you're able to tell the software where you want these items to be coded to on an ongoing basis, based on the narrative that comes through on the bank statement. So when you are using bank rules, the software will then be predicting or will be populating the bank reconciliation postings for you, so it can really actually streamline the bank reconciliation process. Now, the only caveat that I do have here is to be sure to review those bank rules regularly, as sometimes banks can have a nasty habit of changing the narrative sometimes, which may mean that those bank rules don't work. But like I say, bank rules, if they are set up at the beginning and reviewed on an ongoing basis, they can actually start to create or take away some of the reconciliation work that you do within your bank reconciliation. And again, bank rules are available in all the cloud accounting software, QuickBooks Online, Sage, and Xero. Okay, so moving on now to more the sales invoicing. Many businesses are actually still posting invoices out to customers. Now, this may be in part due to customers wanting to receive their invoices in that way, but we do recommend wherever possible that sales invoices are actually sent directly out to the customers from the accounting software. Now, again, Sage, QuickBooks, and Xero all have the ability to directly email invoices to customers. And as well, you can also edit the covering email template to suit your style. Everyone has slightly different writing styles or slightly different business branding. You can tailor that covering email to make sure that it suits yours, so it can still have quite a personal touch to it. Now, as an added benefit of using direct emails, you can then see directly when your customers have opened that invoice. So it does take away excuses. I'm sure nobody makes these excuses, but it does take away the excuse of, oh, well, I've not received that, oh, I've not seen that invoice, because you do actually have that direct email trail to actually show that that invoice has been seen and indeed has been read. Okay, so sticking on the customer side, the next key feature is payment links. Now, payment links, I suppose, first of all, if anyone's listened to me before, or I've spoken to you before, you'll know that I am a great fan of payment links. The reason being is that they are statistically proven to actually speed up customer payments or help you get paid quicker. Now, a payment link works by offering your customers a Pay Now button on invoices that are sent out by direct email. Now, with enabling that, with having that Pay Now button, you're giving your customer a quick and easy way to make payment there and then. So effectively, upon receipt of an email, they will press the Pay Now button, and they will actually be able to make payments either by direct debit or credit card or debit card there and then. And the reason it is statistically proven to speed up payments is it removes the need for them to, removes the need for the customer to put that down to one side to remember to action later on. And I'm going to pick up on some specific apps that cover off, that provide these payment links in a little while. Okay, so the next feature is automatic invoice reminders. So again, sticking on the sales side, automatic invoice reminders are again available in all of the cloud accounting software packages. But I think from my experience, certainly speaking to businesses, are quite underutilised. Now, automatic invoice reminders, it can be set up to provide customers with details of any outstanding, I suppose, first of all, any outstanding invoices or any invoices that are coming due for payment, and to enable, sorry, excuse me. So the automatic invoice reminders, they can actually, you can set them up to provide to your customers either a reminder of an invoice that's coming due to prompt them to remind them to make payments, or you can use them to actually send details of overdue invoices to chase that payment. And because they're automatic, you can have these running automatically in the background without the need to having to separately action or chase those outstanding debts. Now again, it is another good way to speed up customer payments. And again, the invoice templates that are actually used, that are automatically sent, can be tailored and customised to suit your branding or to suit your writing style. And finally, you do have some different options when it comes to automatic invoice reminders. You can choose to attach a copy of the invoices that you're chasing, and again, you can choose to actually put that Pay Now link onto the email chasers as well. So moving over to the expenses, and specifically employee expenses. All of the main cloud accounting software providers, Xero, QuickBooks, Sage Business Cloud, have built within them expense modules, and these are specifically for employee expenses. Now, employee expenses is a lot of the time still very much relies on Excel at the moment. So expense modules is another area which is currently quite underutilised. Now, with the expense modules, you can actually give your employees an option to complete their expense form directly online. So they can take pictures of their receipts, and they can also submit or track their mileage actually directly through the expense module. So it gives employees an easy way to keep on top of their expenses, and it also then saves time processing either a batch of, or processing the Excel expense forms. Okay, so short-term cash flow is another quite exciting feature, I'll not lie. It's been available within QuickBooks and Sage Business Cloud for quite some time, and it landed into Xero, I would say, about 12 months ago. And short-term cash flow enables businesses, or helps businesses monitor, I suppose, as it says on the tin, their short-term cash. Now, the cash flow predictions, they actually work based on the information that is directly held within the accounting software. So it will predict the cash that's due to come in based on the expected due dates of the sales invoices. And it will predict the cash that's due to go out in relation to your purchase invoices, in order to give you an idea of what your short-term cash does look like, and ultimately to identify if any shortcomings will happen before they happen. Now, some of the modules will also give you some suggested action, such as specific customers that you need to chase, or any payments that you may choose to delay. So you can really start to make some good decisions in relation to your cash, and actually be proactive when it comes to dealing with your short-term cash. And then finally, in relation to the key features, every accounting software will have a dashboard that's available. And again, I think the dashboard is quite underutilised. The dashboard enables you to pull together information about your business and see that at one quick and easy glance. So this might be whatever business wants to see might be slightly different. So you may choose to have on there certain accounts that you want to watch. So you might want to keep an eye on your marketing expenses. You might want to look at your accountancy charges, or you might want to see who your top customers are, or your top suppliers to monitor any levels of spending. You can also see at a glance any invoices that are due to you and any invoices that are actually due to be paid. So having that information in one dashboard allows you to actually quickly see at a glance where your business is up to. Now the dashboards within each of the accounting software is customizable, so you don't have to have the standard template that they give to you. You can really actually just start to tailor that to suit your business. Now some of these features, absolutely great features, certainly the short-term cash flow, the automatic reminders, and the automatic reminders will rely on the fact that your accounting data is up to date, because of course what you don't want to do is to be sending automatic reminders if your bank information is not up to date, because it might be that you're sending a reminder to someone who has paid, hence the recommendation to make sure that you do have bank feeds in place wherever possible, and to be reconciling that bank on an ongoing basis. So certainly within our teams, we've moved away from where we would reconcile banks monthly, and we now, for any clients that we do the bookkeeping for, we will actually reconcile those transactions on a daily basis. So the spirit of cloud accounting, is really to make sure that everything is being kept up to date on an ongoing basis to give businesses access to real-time data. Now these features that I have mentioned in the main are available within the accounting software directly, but sometimes it is good to actually complement the software with some apps. So I've highlighted here 4 apps that we recommend businesses use. Okay, firstly, is Dext Prepare, which is formerly Receipt Bank, and again, those that I have spoken to previously will know that Receipt Bank is something that does come highly recommended from me. So Receipt Bank is a purchase invoice automation tool that automates purchase ledger postings, and with Dext/Receipt Bank, you can email invoices directly into Dext, or ask suppliers to as well. That's becoming quite popular. You can use the mobile app to take photos of invoices or receipts, or indeed you can give that to employees to do as well. Or you can use Invoice Fetch to automatically download invoices from online accounts. And once those invoices are indexed, Dext will use a series of rules that have been set up in the background to code those invoices to the correct account code and send them directly into the accounting software with an image attached. So not only does this save time, but also saves paper too. Now Go Cardless and Stripe are both tools that offer the Pay Now buttons that I referred to earlier. Now Go Cardless is good for subscription-based businesses or businesses that invoice on a monthly basis, because this enables their customers to set up direct debits to pay those monthly invoices. So when Go Cardless is first set up, when you send the invoice through to the customer has a Pay Now button, and that Pay Now button will allow them to either make a one-off payment or to set up a direct debit to collect future payments. And the beauty of that is that even if an invoice value changes, the direct debit will still be collected. So in comparison to, say, a standing order that some people might use, Standing orders then have to be updated if ever invoice values change, whereas Go Cardless will automatically update, or will automatically be updated to collect the new amount. And Stripe works on a similar basis. So Stripe collects card payments. So with Stripe, it's the ability to give them that pay now button to collect debit card payments and also credit card payments. So Go Cardless for any that are on monthly direct debit or monthly subscriptions, and Stripe to just give that pay now functionality for businesses to be able to make payments directly through debit or credit card. And as I said earlier, pay now buttons are statistically proven to actually speed up customer payments. Okay, and the final app I'm going to mention is Truly Predict, which in all honesty is another type of short-term cash flow tool. But where the short-term cash flow tools within the accounting software work purely based on the short term and look at expected dates of sales invoices due in and supplier payments due out, Truly Predict extends beyond that. So it can even extend to a 12-month period, for example, and actually makes cash predictions based on spending patterns previously. So if you regularly make payments of wages each month for a fixed amount, then that is incorporated into the type of prediction that Truly Predict does, whereas that wouldn't be incorporated into the short-term cash that is actually dealt with directly in the accounting software. Okay, now there are many apps that are available in the app marketplace. We have many partnerships with some of these apps that look at, I've pretty much picked up purchase invoice automation, payment links, and short-term cash flow management here. But we do also have partnerships with apps that can deal with other areas of the business, such as CRM, such as job management, and also apps that can integrate directly with till systems to bring information directly into accounting software, subject to the till system, so subject to how modern the till system is, I should say. And we can also integrate with online web stores as well, so if anyone does sell on the internet, that information can be sent directly into the software as well. What I have picked up here are the apps that are probably more that are applicable, I can't get my words out, that are applicable to more businesses across the board, whereas some of the other apps are probably quite niche depending on what area you are in. Now, the reason that we do recommend these tools, like I say, is to ensure that businesses have access to real-time data. So it's to give them, first of all, the tools they need to run the business and to make decisions, which will also then help with planning. If we have up-to-date financial information and we can see maybe what our patterns are previously, we can actually then start to plan what is coming, whether that be a short-term plan to get through a COVID situation, which I mentioned on our previous webinar, or whether that is a longer-term plan because you're looking at sort of taking the business in a different direction maybe. But having the access to the real-time data and the understanding of the financial position is really the starting point that you need with that. It can then also help us ascertain any action that we might need to take. So if we can see how our financial position is comparing to any budgets or plans that we had made previously, say we're not achieving the sales that we planned to achieve, we can then start to actually just ascertain some strong action points to make sure that we can succeed with meeting our goals. And then also we can ensure that we are monitoring accurate information on an ongoing basis, as opposed to 9 months down the line, or as opposed to waiting until the end of the month to actually be able to see what the results are. It's all available ultimately in real time. Now, like I said, I'm more than happy. What I've tried to pick out here are the sort of key features that are available in all software, because we have quite a few different sort of business types on the call. So the aim was really to kind of highlight the key features that you can then go away to make sure that you are using along with the key apps. If anyone does actually want me to dive down into any of the software specifics, then I am more than happy to. If you do drop me a message or drop me an email, then I am more than happy to do that. So I'm just going to finish off with a couple of FAQs, so questions that do come up when we are speaking to clients quite a bit about either some of the apps or some of the features. Now, I do have a whole host of different questions, but I probably picked out just what are the most common questions. So first of all, I've tried to connect up bank feeds in the past, but my bank was not available. Is it now? And it's absolutely right that, first of all, not all banks have had the ability in the past, and some still don't have the ability to actually have direct bank feeds, which does, admittedly, it's such a shame because direct bank feeds, I think, are a big reason or a big key feature of any cloud accounting product. Now, the main software providers for the high street banks, or sorry, the main high street banks do have bank feed connections, and the list does continue to grow. So if a feed isn't available, hasn't been available to you in the past, then it is actually worth keeping an eye out on the published lists. And I've just made a note here of where you can find those for Xero, Sage Business Cloud Accounting, and QuickBooks Online. And also, not necessarily noted on the slide, but Dext Prepare does also have the ability to actually connect up with banks as well, to actually download transactions on a daily basis that can then be used to import into the accounting software. So if you don't even have a CSV file, for example, that's available from your bank, then do let me know, because there may be a temporary solution that we can provide with Dext Prepare. And then secondly, do the apps have additional costs, and are they worthwhile investments? And yes, yeah, so of course the apps do have an additional cost, but I don't believe that should put anyone off. A lot of the time, the benefits of using the apps far outweigh the cost. So, for example, Dext Prepare can save even the smallest of businesses 3 hours a week, and that's 3 hours of either not paying someone. So that sounds a bit brutal, but I suppose it's the harsh truth. Or it's 3 hours that could be spent elsewhere on the business. And of course, 3 hours per week can easily mount up, but like I say, that is for the smallest of businesses. We have examples of businesses that have saved a significant amount of time. They've saved the time which would be the equivalent of a full-time person. Obviously, it's subject to size. And then on a similar note, Go Cardless does incur a transaction fee, but if you are struggling with customer payments, you are spending a lot of time chasing customer payments, you are spending a lot of time on the phone to people, because debt collection can be very time consuming, then the transaction fee will most likely outweigh the time that you are spending chasing debts. Okay, like I say, so there are many more questions, but again, just to try and pull out the questions that I think are the most common questions, and like I say, on the features, I really just wanted to kind of pull out the key features, just so people can go away and think, right, am I using this? If not, what's the reason? Or actually, I'd be quite interested to give you some highlights. It might be that you're quite interested to hear a little bit more about the expense module or about how payment links work. At which point I am more than happy to dive into that in a little bit more detail. It's quite difficult to cover all the different softwares and all the different and to actually demonstrate all of the, I suppose, bank feeds for each different software, all in the same session. I think I'll be here all afternoon. So I'm more than happy to do that on a one-to-one basis. So do look out for, we are publishing some software tips on users as well to really complement the session, and also which does contain some videos to actually just show you what some of these tools might look like. So I think our Xero one is due to go out today, then we'll have Sage 50 next month, and then Sage Business Cloud after that. So look out for those coming, and we do have a series of guides available that are on our guides and publications pages that just shows the ideal finance function and the key components of that. Also just highlight some key app areas that we can assist with. And then also just look out on our YouTube and our social media, so YouTube, LinkedIn and Twitter, because we do publish information on there as well. If you do have any queries, your relationship manager should be able to help, but of course I'm always happy to help as well. And I've noted my contact details there. Like I said, more than interested if anybody does want to see in a little bit more detail what some of these key features may look like, or how, wants to know how to go about getting those set up. And then we do actually have another couple of webinars coming up. Again, those will be circulated in our news shortly. So we're looking at getting the right app stack. So just what you need to think about when you are thinking about introducing apps into your business. And then also, quite topical at the moment, Xero or Sage Business Cloud, and just actually highlighting what the key differences between those two packages are. I think Sage Sage 50 are running a campaign at the moment to actually move their clients onto Sage Business Cloud. So because they're no longer investing in Sage 50 anymore. So yeah, they're contacting businesses directly, which is then leading to a lot of businesses wanting to understand the difference between the cloud products that are out there. We're getting a lot more queries in relation to Xero versus Sage, so we just have that session planned as well. So look out for that being circulated on the iNews. So does anyone have any questions, or would anyone like me to cover off anything in a little bit more detail? Do just have a little bit of time left if you do want me to go through anything in more detail. So if you do, please use the Q&A option at the bottom. I'll happily pick those questions up. And if not, then I will let you go. Don't necessarily want to keep you for too much longer, but I do hope that was useful. Like I say, quite difficult to get when you've got quite a few different people, quite difficult to get the pitch right to make you don't know where people are up to with their cloud adoption, but hopefully I've given you a little bit of food for thought. And if you do want to hear more, then like I said, please do let me know. Please do contact me, or alternatively contact your relationship manager, and we should be able to assist you further. Right, well, thank you very much for your time, everyone, and I will see you soon.